Good afternoon and welcome to another Peace Women edition with Marion and I. And today our special guests are the HorseSense UK horses, of which I can see two. There is three.
Yep.
They may come in and out of shot. So so I'm out in the field, literally out in the field. Hotspot off my phone. And where are you today, Marion?
I am still here in Waterford, haven't traveled. I have traveled off of my housing estate to the nearest gas station, petrol station, in hopes that my internet connection won't be so dodgy this time. So, yes, I'm still in my car though. Surprise, surprise. But grateful to be here. And I see, who do I see? I see Dainty and Jim.
No, you can see Dainty Squirrel. Oh, Jim's over the far corner that way.
Oh, is that Squirrel?
It is Squirrel, yes. And you've actually never met my horses, have you? This whole like doing stuff with horses is not something you've first-hand experienced. You've heard me talk about it a lot, haven't you? But never.
A lot. And you've been present. We've spoken and they've been present, or you've been in their company, but I haven't had a real one-to-one time with them. So I look forward to today.
Yeah. And so it's Mental Health Awareness Week, isn't it?
It is indeed. It is indeed over here in Ireland as well. And their focus and their theme is kindness, which I love.
Great theme. So what does kindness mean to you?
Good question. I actually had a really wonderful conversation about kindness last week with someone that we know. And we were talking about the difference between being nice and being kind. Because nice seems kind of on the surface level, and we're talking about the fact that it's manners. It's just pure manners to be nice to someone, but to be kind kind of takes it down a little bit deeper. And I just thought that was a wonderful way of explaining it. So the kindness kind of means with intent and not necessarily waiting for a response. You know, we do kindness, or we are kind for our own sake as well. So if I do something out of kindness, I'm not expecting anything in return. I'm also doing it because it's better for me, which I love. And the more as we know, the more we focus on speaking kind words, acting with kind actions, the more it becomes a good. So what does kindness mean to you, Becci?
It's a great question. So part of my Reiki precepts that I abide by, which are sort of 5 foundational principles, kindness kind of falls into that. So I have explored it a little bit. I guess it's like you. I've been brought up with the concept of being considerate to others. But my journey really made me discover, what does it mean to be kind to myself? Which was a bit of a journey, and it was a bit of a new concept. So I'm not sure I'm particularly an expert on kindness, but I know being kind to myself is giving myself time, space, feeding myself well, giving myself the basics, making sure I have good friendships, and and making sure that there are things in my life that are important to me. So that's what kindness to myself is. And then I always think that everything we ever do is an extension of ourselves. So anything we do for someone else is you're selling your surplus. So kindness to others for me is, well, how can I support others? How can I listen to them, meet their needs, support them, talk to them kindly, instead of being critical and harsh, to stop, be considerate. Ask the question, maybe if someone's annoying you, what's going on for them, what might be happening in their world that you can't see. So that kind of falls into the same category as compassion, really, doesn't it? Softness, gentleness. There's there's that whole saying, you have to be cruel to be kind, in the sense that sometimes you have to have that ruthless compassion with people. Great example with the horses is when you need to. Dainty and Jim had a fight, and she got kicked. And knowing what she's like, she probably provoked the whole thing. She has quite a lot of trauma, it seems, in the way she behaves with other horses, means that she can get to a point where she provokes them to a point they retaliate. So anyway, I don't know what happened. I just know that I turned up with 2 horses squealing at each other, and she's got a big kick mark on the side of her. Kindness can sometimes mean doing in a kind way, but I needed to clean that wound. In order for it to sort of heal, I needed to check it and I needed to clean it. Now, she might tell me, I don't want you to do that. But ruthless kindness can be like taking a step back and looking at the bigger picture and doing for people what they can't do for themselves yet, in a sense of, and sometimes that can be speaking up and saying a truth to someone that you think, well, they probably on the surface of things don't want to hear this, but actually you care about them enough to say something that is true, it's real, and will be helpful to them. And so kindness can be all sorts of, show up in all sorts of different ways, in all sorts of different experiences.
It definitely seems to be, if you're going to give a bit of grammar, it seems like a verb. It's an action, isn't it? In terms of what we do. Something else I was reminded of, when we talk about kindness to ourselves, we often talk about how we start with ourselves and putting on the oxygen mask. And I was thinking, it's not only about that step, it's that continuation of kind of, you have to breathe now. And not only that, you have to breathe in and out. It's just that virtue that you keep coming back to, and it can continue to grow and expand. And I like what you said about the fact sometimes we have to be a little bit honest with our kindness. It usually comes from a good place. And what do you do when you find that you're not being kind to yourself? How do you catch yourself? How do you know?
Yeah, great question. So when I'm not being kind to myself, usually I'm burning the candle at both ends. And I'm really quick on catching myself on that now. It might be running way under the surface for a while, but I've got some big red flags, like not eating properly, going to bed really late, injuring myself. When you're trying to run around, or just having a busy head. My life is pretty relaxed, it's pretty calm. And so if I find myself stepping into overwhelm, there's a really good chance that I'm experiencing more stress than I am support. So for me, someone that's had a chronic illness in the background historically, I know very, very quickly to address that, because there is just no point in burning the candle at both ends. It achieves nothing. I've been there, I've run the experiment, I know it doesn't work.
Interesting. So would you say that kindness really supports your emotional well-being?
Yeah, absolutely. But yesterday I had a bit of a day where I found myself sort of dwelling in emotions. So I addressed that. I went and took some time out, went and did some meditation, had a little nap. Big fan of naps.
Naps are great.
And just to hit the reset button, it felt so much better afterwards. And I feel like kindness is how you look after yourself is so important with how you are with other people. So actually, it's not selfish to look after yourself, because if you're not in a great space, then it's not fun for the people around you, because they're having to pick up the pieces of you being in a bad mood, or not pulling your weight, or just saying mean things. And we don't mean to do any of these things, but when we're in a bad space, we can act out in a bad way sometimes. So actually catching yourself and putting in your self-care practices and bringing yourself back to a better state, and reaching out and asking for help as well. It's not trying to do everything on your own, and bringing in your community to say, oh, I'm not doing so great right now. I need a bit of love. And
being honest.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've just got to move the camera.
Being honest makes a huge difference. Oh, hello. Someone wants to join us. I love it.
Yeah.
Is that Jim then? Hello, Jim.
So this is
Are you going to share?
perfect time to ask the horses really about, hello, yes, we're talking about you. Hi.
Hello, Jim.
Hi.
I haven't met you yet, Jim. Hello.
Hi.
I've heard loads about you.
To ask them about kindness, and for me, we aim to treat our horses as sentient beings, and I think that's important for them because they are sentient beings. They're very intelligent and not always historically been given credit for that. Horses have been such a huge part of our culture and our various, agricultural and industrial revolutions. Having a good old munch. And so actually treating them with the kindness and respect that they deserve enables them to flourish. So I do this work with the horses where the horses do nothing but be themselves. That's actually all they actually do. And the people learn from their different characters, their different personalities, and interacting with them, because actually they show you parts of yourself. They're great mirrors. They're really good at reflecting back. And one of the things that they're really good at reflecting back is our inner talk.
Wow. Well, that's a good point. And what I wanted to say there was, you said two things, I suppose. One, that you give the kindness that they deserve. And isn't that lovely? The fact that we can give kindness so people can, it almost raises the bar, I suppose, for them to reach that level of kindness within themselves. And I think that's so important and so lovely. And I forgot the other thing.
Reflect back to us our inner talk.
That talk was the other thing. The words we use. I think there's so much importance.
Yeah.
In the words we use. Bye, Jim. Thank you for that.
One of the things that horses can be really good at doing is, they're reflecting back. We can be so hard on ourselves. We can be so judgmental, and that's a learned behavior.
It's that inner dialogue. What's that?
It's a learned behavior, that critical inner self-talk. We've picked up things over the years, whether it's from a sibling or a teacher or a parent, just an off-the-cuff comment that becomes our default pattern in our mind about who we are and how we are, and or who we should be. And it's so good at reflecting back to you that deeper who you are, which is pure peace, joy, and it's potential.
Yes, it's about potential, isn't it? Yeah, that's true. I'm very conscious, and even with my two kiddos and the words we use, even if you're just making something in the kitchen and you drop something. This morning I was attempting to recreate kind of frying a piece of toast with an egg in the middle. You know how you cut the hole, and I broke the egg and the egg went right over the counter. So instead of just beating myself up and calling myself names like, oh, Marion, whatever, I was like, well, there you go. First, that foundation down. When we speak to ourselves so negatively, then I think that when we do that, we allow for other people to speak to us negatively too, and we believe it. The brain doesn't know any difference, and we've laid that foundation of kind of, oh, I'm not worthy, I'm not enough. That I am, whatever you put behind I am, means a big difference.
Yeah, and Dainty's been such an amazing teacher about kindness for me. Ooh, because she came to us with lots of difficulties, lots of challenges. If she was a human, she'd probably be diagnosed with having post-traumatic stress disorder. So immediately, the normal expectations that I would have with a horse, having grown up with horses all my life, my normal expectations had to go out the window, and we had to create a totally new framework for us to interact in, one that was incredibly compassionate and very tolerant, very patient, and exceptionally kind. Like at the core of it, it required deep kindness. And she's just brilliant for reflecting back to me. If I've ever got any troubles with anyone, I'll go and chat to her. And she's so wise and so profound. And always, always her answer will be kind. Always. You know, stop being so hard on people.
Lovely.
Having expectations. Stop, just stop. They're a person. At the end of the day, see beyond what their behavior might be and see the person underneath that. And she's just role modeled that so excellently. And the great news is it works. It really does. I put the talk title as Kindness is Key, but it really has unlocked her in so many ways that, every week we're saying, gosh, she's so much better, she's so much calmer, she's so much more, settled. And so it works. There's dividends for kindness.
That's lovely. Well, potential, creating that potential, but also I think maybe you touched upon it briefly. Excuse me. Pause. When you say be kind, it hits that pause button, I think, to say, wait a minute, and reframe what's happening for you right then and now. And it brings you back to the present, doesn't it? Like, what's not working here? Let me be kind, or let me see the kindness in someone else so I can act accordingly. Even in driving, driving down the road, just take a moment. Who knows, people are out driving. What's important to them may not be important to me. Just take a moment and pause, just hit that pause button. And that's what kindness does too. It gives, you say it's a key to potential, a key to pausing and bringing us back to the present moment. And I love it. And human kindness.
And an important point is that kindness isn't about being the pushover, though, is it? You mentioned about the road.
No.
And it's not about letting people push you around and take advantage of you, because if you're letting people do that, that's not being kind to yourself. Standing up for yourself and having respect for yourself is about being kind to yourself. And this is where the horses are really great as well, because they will come and test boundaries like kids. They will come and find out where your boundaries are. And
push you.
Not a bad thing. Yeah, absolutely. And it's not a bad thing, because there's a lot of security that comes when we have got set boundaries. It actually makes people feel safe.
So true.
They know where they stand. They know what to expect. And there's an element of safety, as in you're gonna do the right thing, the safe thing. You're gonna do the present thing. So yeah, kids and horses, I can well imagine, are a lot similar. This concept of setting boundaries. So kindness, it's important to say it's not about being a pushover.
Yeah, no, it's important to say, and it is true. I think you're right. When you establish those kind of boundaries, or what I used to call it, kind of love and kind of determination. But you're right, people will push until they see how far they can go. And I'm not great with boundaries. It's one of the things I keep learning about, and something I keep playing with. And I have to remember to be kind to myself when I don't seem to have my boundaries right. And what's the quote? You do your best until you know better. And then you do better. It's just about learning where you've kind of pushed them, don't they? They've pushed back like the horses do. People will push back. And what I've come back to is that kindness and compassion that takes care of me. Just, yeah.
And there's also health benefits to kindness, isn't there? So Dr. David Hamilton has done a lot of work into the health benefits, and I'll be honest, I don't know them off the top of my head, but I know there's things like heart health and things like that.
Yeah, and it is true. He's fantastic. No, he had the 5 benefits of kindness. I just think it's a lovely, and especially these days where there's so much online and people are very vocal, and we have newspapers and TV shows. I just think that kindness is key for me, And it really shows you who a person is when
Absolutely.
they aren't, what's inside comes out. So, and planting a bit of kindness. You've heard that science experiment, haven't you? Where kids are planting a seed and they speak unkindly to one seed and keep it in the dark, and the other one they put in the sunlight and speak nicely to. And just the kind words just help the seed to flourish and grow. And
And
it's
the other,
true. I love talking to plants.
of course, the other thing,
But I also love speaking. Hmm?
where I was going to say the relevance of
I was just
kindness right now.
gonna say I love speaking. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I love speaking kindly to people because you can live on letting kind words. No, I find it quite interesting that
Oh, what was
mental health decided to make kindness there. It's a good reminder for people.
Yeah, and of course, for some people that you say you're one of these people that loves to talk to random strangers and do random acts of kindness. That's very much your vibe. But for some people, that's the only kindness they'll experience all day. Maybe they live on their own, or maybe they're in a very stressful work environment, or home life is difficult. You just no idea what how you speak to another, what impact you could have on their day. And yeah, the current time, kindness is really critical because none of us have ever gone through this before.
No.
Sure, we might have gone through something similar, but never any of us have gone through something so in this exact way. And of course, we need to be kind to ourselves as we go through this process, to give ourselves just the opportunity to figure it out as we go along. Make a few mistakes. Mistakes are inevitable if you're trying and doing new things, and so you're going to make some mistakes. So make a few mistakes.
Absolutely.
And
no, but mistakes are good. Mistakes are good. They're learning. There's absolute learning there. So yeah, I think it's important. And I think that we have to because we are learning this as we are going along, instead of questioning everything like, why am I so tired, or why am I not as motivated, or why is I, instead of beating yourself up, just again, sprinkle on that kindness and say, hey, this is all in a new situation. And even, so just keep going. So what kind things have you done for yourself today?
I would say kindness is a big leadership skill. You're talking about the current climate. And it's, when you think about the people in your life and you think of the qualities of a good leader, I'm going to guess you're going to put kind in there.
Yeah, I think what kindness offers in terms of leadership is a bit of acceptance. Maybe that's a bit of a stretch. What I mean by that is that when you lead, you must realize that those who are listening and following, per se, aren't going to be similar to you. So to realize that, people have different reasons for doing things a certain way and what have you. I just think to really bring everyone along with you, if you show a bit of kindness and patience and acceptance, it makes that person.
Yeah. So, who are you going to be more inclined to help out, support, be responsive to? The harsh, angry person, or the kind, compassionate person? So it's a big leadership skill, and the horses reflect this back to people a lot. You can go out and be very do this and this, but actually they'd much rather, and they're much more obliging and willing if you meet them halfway. It's so more love filled, to engage someone on that level. And horses are very heart centered. and a large amount of their communication is done from the heart. And of course, kindness is all about the heart. All about the heart.
Yeah.
And they are incredibly compassionate. It just
Are they?
when clients come and whatever the client has got going on for them, they don't judge. And so the way they show up, and they do the ruthless compassion as well, in the sense that if someone hasn't got set boundaries, they will stretch them and test them. But there's never any malice behind what their behavior. They've got there's no
Ill will.
agenda. There's no agenda with them.
That's
They are
lovely.
genuinely just being themselves, which makes them a great learning opportunity, because there's no agenda, there's no judgment, they're just reflecting back to you how you are, how they are, and it's to learn and grow. And look,
I had a lovely opportunity to take a young person I was working with, who was not by definition was labeled as very aggressive, and there was a lot happening for him. Anyhow, I had the opportunity it was just transformative right in front of my eyes to see, however, in the child's desire to be kind of, and the horse did accept the child for who the softness that came upon this child work. Oh, it was just amazing. And I think that is fantastic. And I would love for that to continue to expand, that humans can take the person, hello, Dainty, take the person 15 years ago or 5 minutes ago even, but take the person that is standing in front of them now. And it's I think is a great lesson.
Yeah, I agree. And I think this idea that the world is a better place for being kind.
Yeah,
it's a better, we're better off for it. Our community is better off for it. And yeah, I'm incredibly lucky. This beautiful horse here reminds me every single day to suspend judgment and just embrace the benefits of kindness.
Yeah. And we seem to go further when we're kinder. You know what I mean? Like, we can go it alone and be kind of centered and very focused. However, when we open up and we spread our wings, hello, Dainty, and we show kindness, we seem to go further.
Oh yeah,
which I think is lovely.
I agree. Yeah. So
how's Dainty today?
How are you, Dainty? Yeah, I think she's pretty good. I kind of think it's cute that she's sneaking in here. Not her first.
I know.
She's done a few interviews before now, but she's sneaking.
Yeah.
What I love about horses is their energy. Like, I don't know how it comes across on the screen, but for me, my experience is there's just really beautiful, soft energy, and she's got her stuff going on. So it's not always. She's not always 100% soft, and it's not always 100% beautiful. But that's her vibe. That's her vibe. It's this very gentle softness.
We're talking about you.
What is that?
She's gorgeous. She's just majestic. They're just fantastic. I love this. It's equal parts softness but strength as well. There's something about horses. It's been a long time since I've been around a horse.
Well, our time is up for today, but I very much enjoyed.
Really, already?
Yeah, I very much enjoyed bringing the laptop out and sharing it. That's the one thing I love about the horses, is they just change your energy. They just take you. Thank you. They take you to a deeper place, a more heartfelt place, and for me, it's a real blessing to be around that and have the privilege to be in that space. So stay on the line, Marion. We'll have a little chat and a catch up, but we'll sign off for now.
Okay. Yes,
And
lots of kindness and love to everybody.
I'll see
And
you all
peace.
next week.
Bye. Take care.